Dawn has become day, and the glory that comes after every night was replaced by the common light of earthly day. This is difficult for man to stay constantly sensitive to the splendors of whatever the divine showers on the earth. All the time those moments are coming. We can't stand it, we can't bear it for too long. That's why after a time you get accustomed to it. It becomes common light. This is the whole problem. We look at the ocean, we are next to the sea here in Pondy. We don't recognize after a while that there's such a powerful presence in consciousness. It's grand, it's beautiful, and after a while you don't pay much attention to it. You pay attention to your own personal life. This is the difficulty with man. Start carrying on with your daily duties. You know that the world and the sky, the nature, the ocean, all these are things of great, not just grandeur, but enormous gifts that the divine has given for man to open to something higher, greater, wider than himself. We are concerned mostly with ourselves. We are surrounded by a universe into which we could grow, but it's not easy. So we fall back into our little daily consciousness. And this is why all sprang to their unvarying daily acts. Morning comes, everybody wakes up, whether it is bird or beast or animal or man. We have a daily routine, we start our daily life. We are not aware of the gift that is given to us, the gift of a new day, a new light, a new possibility of change and growth. And so we obey the unforeseeing instant's urge. To obey the unforeseeing instant's urge is to live in the moment. We push our lives from one minute to the next. We concern ourselves with our daily activities. Among these creatures who live their life almost automatically, one being from time to time tries to make a difference. One being questions, why must he be trapped in the smallness of his everyday life? There are some, at least, among men who make an attempt and usually fail because they fall back into their smallness, into their ignorance. And so that is the reason why man suffers more. The others accept. When you accept your nature, you don't struggle. When you try to come out of it and you don't succeed, man, for instance, lifted up the burden of his fate, his limitations. You want to do something, you want to rise, you want to open, you want to become greater, wiser, and inevitably there is a limit. And the final limit is death. It stops. So this is the picture of the turning, the cyclic change that comes on the earth, in the world of nature, every day, at every moment, because this dawning of consciousness is not the dawn only in the sky. The dawn that can take place in the sky of your soul, of your mind. It's an inner journey, it's an inner opening as well as an outer opening. Simultaneously, Sri Aurobindo is giving us the bringing of a new day, the coming in of a new opening to light, to life, to truth, the possibility, and the inability to stay at that height for too long, falling back into the comfortable habitual state of semi-ignorance and the state of semi-ignorance and weakness. But there he introduces this central character who is not like them. She lives with men, among men, in the forest, which is the world of life. Forest usually symbolizes the life plane, the vital plane. Savitri too awoke among these tribes, the 1,000 peoples of the soil and tree, human beings and birds and animals, all of them wake up to their daily activities. Savitri too awoke among these tribes that hastened to join the brilliant summoner's chant. The brilliant summoner is the sun, the call of the sun, the call of a new light, the opening of a new possibility, the breaking out of a new, you might say, field of change. Every day we have this call. And we do our routine activities. We say, yes, another chance has been given to me. I can make my journey towards the light. It's a journey of consciousness, it's a journey on time, it's a journey on the earth at the same time. And Savitri too awoke among these tribes that hastened to join the brilliant summoner's chant, and lured by the beauty of the apparent ways, acclaimed their portion of ephemeral joy. This is the response that is there in man. Every day there is a call, there is a chance given to man. And yet man is lured by the immediate success, the immediate gain, the path that leads to a success, satisfaction of desires. That is the main push in the world of life. Desire is a drive, is a push. So lured by the beauty of the apparent ways, the surface life, each one of us acclaim our, you might say, portion of joy, of satisfaction. This joy is ephemeral, short-lived. It doesn't last. Every moment changes and is replaced by the next moment. Every day is replaced by the following day. Today you are young, tomorrow you will not be so young. So what is it that you can do today? Make as much as you can, get as much happiness as you can, accumulate as much power or pleasure or wealth or knowledge that you can, because nothing is going to last. Nothing lasts, everything comes to go. Life on earth comes to go. So you try to make a constant sense of living in the moment as much as you can. Living in the moment is one thing. Living in the eternal is another. Savitri is therefore not like them. Man lives in the moment. He is blinded by the present. This is what is the best I can do. I can do this, I can do that. But where am I going to finally head, towards what goal? We don't bother not to think about it because we don't always have the answer. We don't like to ask questions for which we have no answers. So we push away those questions. Savitri is not like that. So slowly he will begin a description of this person who is with men, among men, in the forest, a human being, and yet quite different. That is always the description of an epic hero or heroine. He is never like the others. He is like the others and not quite like them. And that is why she is a being who can impose her way, her nature, because she has a wider vision, a nobler understanding, a greater power, and she can bring that and help with that to change the human nature. Therefore, the next line, as opposed to the word ephemeral, you have in the next line, eternity. She has come from the eternal, akin to the eternity whence she came. She has come into the human world from the divine, from the eternal. Unfortunately, we who have done the same, we all have come from the divine, we have lost that contact. We have forgotten. So we have become really small beings. Our vision, our capacities are always dictated by our natures. If our nature is small, I can grasp only a little. Her nature is vast. Therefore, in the vastness of her being, she embodies the eternity from which she came. So, though she is wearing a human form, she is not a human being. It can remind you of certain sentences Sri Aurobindo spoke about the mother, that the mother was above the human even in childhood. Even at the age of 5, she could feel the pressure of a consciousness above her head. She didn't know what it meant. She was too young, but she knew that there was something beyond the present. We are blinded by our ego, our satisfaction of making an immediate success of our present moment, and that's all. She is not satisfied. She has come not for that. So, akin to the eternity whence she came, no part she took in this small happiness. To have a momentary happy joy, success, to wake up today and it's a nice day, yesterday was beautiful, today also will be beautiful. If I can make it beautiful and happy and smiling. Yes, it's true, Mother says you smile at life, life will smile at you. But smile from which part of your being? Smile on the surface. You look at the surface of life, life is beautiful. Smile from within. But what is this within? If I open myself, I find that there is infinity inside me. And there is no place for any darkness. It's only light, it's only joy, it's only truth. I look at the world around me with that experience and I see the divine presence in everything at the same time. But this is the whole reciprocity. We experience what we are. What we are within, we experience that. Akin to the eternity whence she came, no part she took in this small happiness. A mighty stranger in the human field, the embodied guest within made no response. So very clearly we are being told that she has come from a different world, the highest plane. She has entered the house of matter, like you go to another's house. No part she took in this small happiness because she is not part of this world of littleness. She is a guest because she has come voluntarily, knowingly, in this world of limited matter. But she belongs to something that is infinitely vast. But she has put on a body. The body is the house. The spirit lives within the house. We live in the body. We are usually not aware of the spirit living within us. So don't think that there is a divine presence inside me. If I have to experience that, I have to work on it. Therefore, she did not get up in the morning and take pleasure in the new day. So he is making it very clear that her response to the new light is not like that of others. She's quiet, calm. He's leading up to the end of the canto. There's something that she's preparing herself for. The call that wakes the leap of human mind its checkered eager motion of pursuit, its fluttering hued illusion of desire visited her heart like a sweet alien note. The call that wakes the leap of human mind. There are those who are drawn by the thirst for knowledge or curiosity to discover the world. They are alive to what is happening around them, within them, and they say, well, this is what I am here for, to find out what is going on inside me, around me, what is life for. Or it's checkered. There are those who don't live so much in the mind, but there is a motion of pursuit. You pursue your pleasures, you pursue your desires, you want to satisfy the drives, the impulsions that are there, but this pursuit is checkered. It means there are moments where you succeed, there are moments when you don't. There's a light and shade. It's not a straightforward journey. Or a fluttering hued illusion of desire. The biggest problem in man's life, the push that comes in the vital, is desire. The problem that comes also in man's life is due to desire. This was the solution, this was the understanding that the Buddha himself had come to. That all our problems come because we are chasing desires. Today's desire is replaced by tomorrow's desire. Everything is constantly shifting, changing. Today I want this, later I want that. What I was before, I am no longer now. So what I liked before, I don't like now. And I'm constantly running after something that is eluding my grasp. And his solution was, if you want freedom, first cut the cord of desire. That is the only possibility for nirvana. We are no longer attached. Otherwise, we are attached. As long as we are attached, we are obviously bound. Attachment is a rope that binds you and enslaves you. We become slaves. So we think desire gives us happiness. He says it's an illusion. It leads to dissatisfaction eventually. It doesn't give you what you're looking for. So you change one desire for another all the time. That's why it flutters, now this, now that, here. We're constantly running after all kinds of things. Because ultimately what man has always wanted is happiness. But he sometimes believes satisfaction of desire is happiness, which it is not. Desire is very unstable. It cannot give you happiness. Happiness is something that is unchanging. So you have to reach the unchanging. You have to reach the eternal. This is not what man does. So these are things that man has always been pursuing. She sees people like that around her, who visited her heart like a sweet alien note. It's alien to her, it's not her nature. But it is in such a world that she has come, among men who are like this. So this is again the descent of the divine, who has graciously accepted to enter into the smallness of human nature. This is the sacrifice, it's often described as the sacrifice of the avatar. He accepts to enter into the smallness of the human being, himself or herself not being small at all. But she has come because she's the embodiment of love, of grace. And unless she enters into the world of smallness and limitation and suffering in which man finds himself, how can she solve the problem? You have to live the problem in order to find the solution. You have to enter, as Sri Aurobindo's poem, The Pilgrim of the Night tells you, to enter into the mud. You have to enter into the darkness, in God's labor also. You have to enter into the darkness and seem to be lost in the darkness so that you can show the way out of darkness. To plunge into this. And this is repeatedly described as the sacrifice of the divine. So this is, again, very clearly we are told, she is an expression of the divine power, which is love. She has come down out of love for a human world which doesn't even recognize her to be who she is. Time's message of brief light was not for her. Man is often satisfied with small answers. I've found the solution to my problem, I'm happy. I've discovered a new theorem, I'm happy. But one law or one discovery is usually replaced by another. All the time, the past is being wiped off and a new world, a new truth, or a new possibility is put before man. Today I was reading a very interesting text that Nolinida was talking about and saying that what is impossible, the word impossible is the sure sign of a new manifestation. That he gives us examples. Did man ever think that he could walk on the moon? The moon was something far away. It is a reality today. Did man ever think that, say, even the vast British Empire would ever break down? The sun would never set on the British Empire, Churchill had said. Britain conquered, ruled the world in the 19th century, the early 20th century. Where is Britain today? So what is at one moment considered impossible is the sure sign of a new possibility. Can happen. And therefore, this truth that she has come to embody, that the earthly life can be replaced by a divine life, is considered impossible by man, as he is today, a mental being. And that itself is a sure sign that it will happen. He has to break out of his ignorance. In her, there was the anguish of the gods. So again, the divine love that sees to free man from the bondage to darkness and ignorance and suffering and pain will be a very difficult task because man doesn't want to make the effort. He accepts his weakness, he accepts his fate, he accepts his smallness. She has to plunge into this human world of pain and suffering, take part in it, and then show the way out. Unless she takes part in this world, how can she show the way out of the darkness or the suffering? Not out of the world, but of the darkness with which we have really wrapped our world with. Break out of that error, out of ignorance, out of pain. And this is because her love is so much that she is anguished that man is going to remain like this forever. I have to do something. I have to come down among men. I have to struggle, because man will not struggle. Man accepts his fate. I have to fight with that fate. And that is the theme of the poem. Fate is death. She has come to battle against death. Man thinks it is not possible. She has come to say it will be done. But somebody has to do it. That person is she. Because she loves, she suffers for her children who don't even know that they are suffering. They accept their state. So this is the enormity of the divine love and sacrifice. In her there was the anguish of the gods, imprisoned in our transient human wound. We all are divine. We all have the divine presence inside us. This divine presence is imprisoned in our ignorant, small nature. That little prison, and we call it our ego. When you say, I am like this, I cannot be different. I am defined by my limits. Every person identifies himself with his limitations. So we also are. That is the reason why the divine makes the effort. So essentially, you are not small, you are divine. Why do you identify yourself with your ignorance? Remove the ignorance. It's only a veil, it's a cloak. Yes, it has lasted for millions of years. That doesn't mean it cannot be removed. You say, as a human being, I cannot do it, it's too difficult. I'm unconscious. So, right, then I'll come down and do it for you. So, imprisoned in our transient human mold, the deathless, that is, Savitri is the eternal, the divine, the deathless conquered by the death of things. In man, the eternal seems to be suppressed by his ignorant small nature. That's one way of looking at it. Also, we see how again and again the avatar comes and accepts to go through the human experience to break the, you might say, prison a little at least, to make a small opening so that we don't relate ourselves always to what is small, what is little, we can grow. But for that she has to accept to enter the prison. That is what Mother has done, that is what Sri Aurobindo has done, that is what all avatars have done. Each in his own way has come to make a new opening, to say there is a new possibility. You can come out of this state you are in and become somebody else. A vaster nature's joy had once been hers. Very clear, she has come from elsewhere. She is not small, but long could not keep its gold heavenly hue. She has plunged into the depths of the human, you might say, even filth, dirt, ignorance, error. She has plunged into that world. So she doesn't seem to be, though she is different, she will not escape the consequences of coming down into the darkness. She has to pass through the same experiences. It is not simply like a guide who speaks from a heavenly sky and say, move like this, follow this path, change your nature. She puts on that nature. She follows the path. For that she comes into the dirt, into the darkness. And that, one of the most difficult things is suffering. Because the original creative principle of the divine is obviously the delight of creation. When man or anyone makes something, he does it because he likes to do so. He does it out of love, not when it is not a pressure. I do it freely because I love to. The divine, nobody could put a pressure on the Supreme. He has created the universe out of the joy of creation. Now this joy at some point, because it is plunged, we have created a sense of separation from the divine. In our ignorance, in our ego, joy was turned into a perverse pain. And we say, we are small, we are death-bound, we do not have eternal joy. So it is in this small world, and Mother calls it a perversity. A perversity literally is a twist. It's like something that has been a long, you might say, cord that has emanated from the Supreme so long that it has got twisted. So this, she says, 4 perversities took place. Joy became pain, truth became falsehood, life became death, and consciousness became unconsciousness. And these are the 4 great enemies. So to conquer them, it's too big a battle. She has to come down herself, the Supreme Shakti. That's why you have images of the Divine Mother fighting against the Asura. It's the Shakti that has to fight. It's not the Lord's consciousness, it is the Divine's force. So you have the image of the Mahashakti. That is, today is the day of the beginning of the battle between the force and the dark, resistant ego, which is the Asura. It is an image, actually, it's a symbol, because it is a recurring phenomenon. It happens, she comes every year, because it's so difficult. Every moment is a chance to break out of our smallness. We do, to some extent, make a change, have a progress, and then fall back. And that is why this first canto is the symbol dawn. We go to sleep. Again and again, we forget. Again and again, we plunge into a kind of lethargy, ignorance, resistance. Then we wake up, we make a new attempt, and we fall back again. And this is how it seems to proceed forever. A vaster nature's joy had once been hers, but long could keep not its gold heavenly hue. So she is darkened by the darkness into which she is plunged. It's like somebody who plunges into the mud is covered by the mud in which he falls. Or stand upon this brittle earthly base. Brittle earthly base as opposed to the vaster nature. Something infinitely vast, and the foundation on which we really erect, we build our whole existence, our consciousness, our future, is a very weak foundation of unconsciousness. Nothing can really be built on unconsciousness. It's very brittle. That's why whatever you make, whatever you achieve, eventually breaks down. So this is the cycle of rising and falling. Sri Aurobindo calls it a vertical spiral. You go up to come down. So this is a description of life. A narrow movement on time's deep abysm. It's a brittle base. Time is infinitely vast. Time gives us all kinds of opportunities of rising and falling. A narrow movement on time's deep abysm. Life's fragile littleness, it is brittle, denied the power, the proud and conscious wideness, and the bliss she had brought with her into the human form. This is our huge resistance. We refuse, we reject, we do not dare to become what she wants us to become. Mother has told us so many beautiful things. Receive, open yourself. Let me do the work. I will enter into your being. Why don't we? We don't have the strength of will. At some point, if we are very, very honest, we don't want. It's too difficult to change oneself fundamentally from the bottom up. We are accustomed to our littleness. And suddenly, if tomorrow I am thrown out into the middle of the ocean, I'll be terrified. I like to stay near the shore. It's safe. And that is the whole thing. So whenever great sages, rishis, avatars come, their wisdom is turned into some codified language that is put in a book. You don't live it. Whatever truth, as Mother, somebody had asked Mother before Sri Aurobindo's centenary, people give talks on Sri Aurobindo. What should I say? So, live it. That's the only thing that is really required. No need for big talks. But how to live it? We have to break our boundaries. And we don't want to, because we are terrified. Then I'll no longer be myself. The drop that falls in the ocean is terrified because it will no longer be a drop. It becomes the ocean. And we are attached to our littleness. So we push away the vastness, we push away the light. We do not want to live it because it is too huge a change. So we denied, life denied the wideness and the bliss she had brought with her into the human form, the calm delight that weds one soul to all. This total absence of ego. One with all, the same love, the same joy that is spread over everybody. Mother says the mother's love is given to all. It's the same love. Each one receives according to his receptivity. If my cup is small, I will hold a little bit. If somebody else's nature is wider, he will hold more. The love that is given is the same. But if I have to widen my nature, I will no longer be the I that I was. I'm accustomed to being me. I have to become a different person. I have to change into another person, and I don't like that. I don't want to try, because it's unknown. Where will it lead me? What will I become tomorrow? I'm frightened. So, this is what life does. It pushes away the calm delight that weds one's soul to all, the key to the flaming doors of ecstasy. It is this that she had come to give. Ecstasy completely swept away by the divine. Status. Literally it means you are no longer yourself. You're torn out of your little self. You become somebody else. We deny this. We don't want it. What do we want then? Earth's grain that needs the sap of pleasure and tears rejected the undying rapture's boon. In fact, we don't want undying rapture. We don't want continuous daylight, we want night also. We don't want joy only, we want to also weep from time to time. There's an attraction to fall, that's why we fall. So earth's grain, the very makeup of giving you the image of a plant that is in the darkness. It has to be watered with tears. Then it grows towards the sunlight. We have an alternation of light and darkness. The sap, you know what the sap is? What is in the plant? No, it's not a small plant.
Wax.
It's the life, it is the blood. In you there is blood, in the plant there is sap. It's the energy that flows through the plant. It is what makes the plant grow. And we realize that very often we need tears also. We need pain. Pain becomes very, very strong opportunity to recognize that I have to become somebody different, otherwise I continue to suffer. We can't continue to be happy all the time. I don't want a story which is always full of joy and happiness and laughter. I say, no, I like little moments of sorrow. I like little moments where we are a little solitary, lonely, unhappy. We call it by all kinds of names. You say, I'm a loner, I'm this, I'm that. And we are attached to that. To say I am part of the universal delight. I don't want that. I am a small person, I like my smallness. So earth's grain that needs the sap of pleasure and tears rejected the undying rapture's boon. This is what she has come to give. Undying, because she has come to fight against death. And there will be therefore no failure, no fall. Earth doesn't want it. Again, if you have read sufficiently Mother's talks, it starts with a description of one of Sri Aurobindo's sentences. If only humanity consented to be spiritualized. And then she's spoken about that. That consent has to come from us. Then the pressure will be put. If we do not consent, we reject it. We expect to be helped, we expect to be guided, but we don't want to break out of our limits. I want to remain the way I am. So we reject the undying rapture's boon. Therefore, what she has come to bring that, the undying rapture, what does earth offer to her? Offered to the daughter of infinity, her passion flower of love and doom, she gave. This is earth's gift to her. She has come to bring undying rapture. Earth offers passion flower. Passion literally is not intense emotion. The original meaning is pain, suffering. Passion always is accompanied by pain and loss. Patir you have in French, to suffer. And there is a flower which is, I think mother's name is silence. And it is the symbol of the sacrifice of the divine. In the center of that flower, the stamens of the flower, they take the form of a cross. I don't know if you've seen it. And that is the symbol. The cross is the symbol of the acceptance to be crushed, to be made to suffer. So this is why any being who comes, who is too great, has to suffer too greatly. This is the gift that earth gives to the great. If you are small, you suffer in a small way. If you are great, you suffer in a great way, but you have to suffer. This is earth's gift, of life's gift. You have to die, you have to suffer. So, she is the daughter of the infinite. She is the daughter of endless, deathless rapture. Earth says, you have come among us. In our world, you have to accept our law. Our law is birth and death. Our law is loss and gain. It's a world of duality. It's not a single world. It's a divided world. So now he is from this next sentence, is picking up the thread of the story. Because like all long poems, particularly epics, the rule is that the story never starts in the beginning. It starts in the middle, or somewhere near the end also. It's an unwritten law that all epics have always followed. So here, today, she has to follow a particular experience of intense pain. And he will develop that why has today got to be the beginning of an experience of an exceptional pain. The last line of the canto will tell us. In vain now seemed the splendid sacrifice. She who has come from the infinite has entered into the world of time and death. Time is also death. Kala, one of the names of Yama is Kala. She has come into the world of death, and to bring eternity and infinity into our life, she will not succeed. It seemed she is given a special quota of suffering. A prodigal of her rich divinity, herself and all she was, she had lent to men. She has given her everything. Prodigal is one who spends freely, without measure. What has she spent? Her divinity, her love, her nature, her blessings. It's for all. It's completely unconditional. Why has she done so? Why are we given so much grace, so much help? Do we really change? Do we deserve it? It doesn't matter. We still get it. Hoping her greater nature to implant, and in their bodies, lives acclimatize, that heaven might native grow on mortal soil. The divine comes down, gives all of himself, all of herself, all his light, all his consciousness, all his grace. Mother has done that, Sri Aurobindo has done that. Have we changed? It seems that it is a splendid sacrifice. And we may bow before the sacrifice, but we don't change. We don't deserve this. Why is it like this? Why is there such a huge resistance? Though she wants her greater being to implant on the earth, to make a new world and a new earth and a new humanity. It has not happened. Why? So here, the wonderful, strong sentence. Hard is it to persuade earth nature's change. The resistance is very strong. The roots go down into the absolute inertia, the absolute unconsciousness. Mortality bears ill the eternal's touch. It bears very badly the touch of the divine. It's like you are being touched by fire. You will scream. You don't want that. Mortality bears ill the eternal's touch. It fears the pure divine intolerance of that assault of ether and of fire. Ether is spirit. It's as if we are attacked by something infinitely vast, powerful, luminous. It's like suddenly the sun enters your room and you are terrified, you are burnt up. You say, please, I like a little sunlight, but not so much. Please go away. Again and again, this is what happens. The sun is the symbol of the Supreme. We can't dare to go too near the sun. We can't bear it. We bear very badly the contact with the divine. We say, I want to stay in touch with the mother. But it is not in touch with the mother. It is with touch of my conception of what the mother is. If I really want to be in touch with the divine mother or Sri Aurobindo, I have to break out of my small perceptions, ego, conception. I have to become somebody else. And I don't like that. So mortality bears ill the eternal's touch. It fears the pure divine intolerance of that assault of ether and of fire. It murmurs at its sorrowless happiness. To murmur, the original meaning of murmur is to grumble. Grumble softly because you don't dare to scream at the divine. Sometimes you are terrified of the consequences. But you grumble inside you. What mother expects is too much. I cannot do this. It's not possible. Murmur is just that. To revolt, but sotto voce, quietly inside. Almost with hate, repels the light it brings. Why have we really killed, tortured, crucified all those bringers of light? We hate them. Though we say, I worship them. Yes, I put a picture, I put an image, I can make a sculpture, but I am not that. I have to become another being if I have to really experience what he has come to give me, the avatar. I don't want to change, almost with hate. That is why every great sage avatar has been rejected by the earth. Burnt at the stake, given poison, crucified, all of them have been thrown out. They are not part of our lives. We are not like them, they are not like us. They belong to another world, I belong to this world. The sense of division, separation from them, we want to make permanent. It trembles at its naked power of truth. We are hidden behind curtains of hypocrisy and lies. Things that we think we are and we choose to believe, and we are not. If we look at oneself, if we look at ourselves completely sincerely and honestly, we will discover things that are most unbeautiful. So we don't look at them. We don't look for them. We made screens of explanations, justifications, and excuses. There are all kinds of curtains. Therefore, the naked power of truth comes. We are terrified. And there were those who used to be hidden behind this power. Great pundits, great thinkers, who have covered themselves with screens of knowledge. And when some of them did approach the avatar, Mother Sri Aurobindo, they literally used to tremble, shake, faint, scream, because they have to be torn out of their self-satisfaction, the screens behind which they were hiding. It's very difficult. Therefore, for a very long time, that's how I understood.
The story you had told about mother, when she came to playground, I forgot the name, some Ma.
Oh, that is a different one. She didn't come to the playground. Anandamai Ma.
Then she wanted to see, then mother showed her, I don't know, something like that you had told once.
No, with Anandamai Ma it was different. Anandamai Ma she's still there, I think so. No? But Almora. She was a very illumined, realized being. And still remember the day she came to the ashram. Mother was waiting for her in the meditation hall, and this courtyard, everybody was on either side, nobody was there. Mother wanted to meet her alone, and she was, it's like a child. She lifted up her sari and she was running. I have come to meet my mother. I'm your child. I fell at her feet. She recognized, it is this the difference, that I am your child, I am nobody, I am yours. And others called her Ma. And she called the Divine Mother, our mother, her mother. That realization is there. But if you are a lesser being, you don't. You don't want to bow down before a greater light. You are terrified. There was one person who fainted. One person who shouted, got mad. People used to go mad. They can't bear the pressure because they were looked up to by others. And suddenly they find that there is somebody who is greater than them. So, it murmurs at its sorrowless happiness. It trembles at its naked power of truth and the might and sweetness. You see, it's a combination of might and sweetness. The two words don't usually go together. The power of infinite love, of its absolute voice. We have divided power from love. You say you love somebody, it's a weakness. Love is a strength. There is no ego. In our love, there is a demand. There is an ego. In mother's love, there is nothing. That love which is strength, that strength which is love, that love which is wisdom. Wisdom, knowledge, power, love are all the same, with different expressions. Man likes to differentiate. He makes categories, compartments. In the Supreme, there is none. That is why man doesn't like the divine. He likes the divine, put him in a frame and keep it on the wall or somewhere, but don't try to change me, it's too difficult. And if she does, I will make her suffer. And now this is the beginning of a description of how today Savitri is suffering. That will be the following page.